What's up guys, today we've got a very special guest on the channel today. We've got Mr. JP Cauchi, and he's going to be going over some things to do with having a bigger, better bench. So we're going to hear from the man himself. Over to you, JP.
Thanks for the introduction. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about bench press and shoulder position and how we can hold better shoulder position. Now, as you can see by the name of the video, we're talking about how back strength as it relates to pressing more weight. And the first thing you need to understand is that your back, so your lats, your rhomboids, these muscles there, they don't actually extend, they don't actually horizontally abduct your shoulder. They don't actually press weight. Like your lats can't press. The lats aren't a pressing muscle, they're a pulling muscle. So when people are talking about having really big back or strong back for improving their bench press, that's something that I don't really kind of buy into, and I'm more on the side of having a healthy back, having muscles in the back that are active and that are fully functional. That's what's going to translate the best to bench press. The way that this occurs is your back muscles, the role of your back during a bench press is to hold position. They hold your shoulders and your scapula in a position that enable your chest, your deltoids, your triceps to be able to press the weight. What you'll see a lot of lifters do is they lose their shoulder position as the bar comes down into the chest. So Brett's going to demonstrate what that might look like. And you'll see a lot of lifters kind of take on this technique, and whether it's deliberate or not, you'll see that the shoulders kind of roll out of position. So he's going to start the bar here with his elbows locked weight there. And what we're going to do is look at what happens over here as the bar comes down. So he's going to see here, and he's going to lose position, and his shoulders kind of roll. And he's going to press up. And you can see he picks up his head as well. Go again. Cool, press back. Now compare that to having his shoulders are pressed the whole time, and he's going to hold his shoulders down the whole time. Go again. Way better. Press. One more time. Nice, press. Yep. Okay, so what we're getting at here is that as the bar is approaching our chest, we don't want to dump our shoulders, we don't want to dump our scapula. This is called anterior tilt of the scapula. You might be familiar with anterior tilt of the hip or of the pelvis. This is anterior tilt of the scapula. So you don't want to be in this position where the bar's coming down and you do this. That's really weak, and it relies heavily on deltoid strength. And if you happen to have a lot of deltoid strength, this might actually be a technique for you, but for the most part, this is not how good technique looks like in a bench press. So how we can alleviate this is by doing rows, doing pull-ups, doing our back work with correct technique that will translate into better positioning on the bench press. So that's what we're going to show you now. Cool, so you can see we've got Brett here at the cable rowing machine. This applies to all rows and all row variations, even to vertical pulling. So pull-ups, lat pull-downs, any kind of movement in that regard. When we prescribe rowing and pulls in a powerlifting program, you need to keep in mind what the emphasis is and what the objective is. And for the most part, the objective when I prescribe it is teaching good shoulder position as well as general shoulder health. So Brett's going to demonstrate what you typically see, or what I typically see in people doing rows, and that is letting the shoulders dump into anterior tilt. So we're going to look at what happens here at the shoulder, and he's going to row in. And obviously he's exaggerating a little bit, but this is quite common. Pause it at the top if you can, and he's going to hold that. You can see here the shoulders are jumped forward, and you can imagine his scapula is risen here, and there's no tension in the lats, and you can relax, and there'd be no strength in the chest to be able to press the weight up. What we want instead is, as the bar's approaching our chest in the row, we're holding our shoulders retracted and depressed. So he's going to have another go. He's going to do 3 reps and pause the 3rd rep. So see, now he's able to actually retract and keep the shoulders down. He's going to pause here, hold, and his shoulders are nice and far back. Dump them forward again and show us how bad. Not here. Rest. Cool, so this is it. You can rest. So this is how we want to be approaching our rowing supplementary exercises. Cable rows, single arm rows, whether it's with a neutral grip, same thing. We don't want to be rowing into a dump shoulder position. That's really not optimal to translate into actual pressing position, because this is a weak position to press from. You can't press from here, we need to press from here. So if you can make your rows specific to your bench press in this technique, it's really, really important.
And you think, further to that, like finding that position too is also going to help your arch in that, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. If you can, doing your strict cable rows, pausing here with depressed shoulders, that's going to really help your arch position. Right? You don't want to be rolling with a flat back. You almost want to be rolling with a bit of a good posture, chest up, exactly like you would be in a bench press. Right, so exactly the same thing. The exact same rules apply when we're doing a vertical pull. So we've got Brett here, obviously on the vertical pull, and you'll see the same things. when the bar comes down, a lot of guys are so desperate to get their chin over the bar, they end up dumping their shoulders forward. So he's gonna kind of demonstrate what that kind of looks like. And you can see his shoulders dump forward here because they're trying to get their chin over, they're trying to reach their chin over, whether it's a pull up, chin up, lat pull down, right? Rather, we want to almost extend our back, so like a big arch as it comes down, and keep the shoulders down. Hold there. Yeah, good, go again. And you can see he's almost leaning back, but the most important thing is that he's keeping his shoulders pinched down and back, exactly like we want in the bottom of the bench press. This is what's going to translate best to bench press pressing power. So I hope you've taken something a little bit out of this. I mean, like, it's a really, really common trait. I don't know what your experience is when you see guys doing like their supplementary exercises.
Yeah, see it all the time. Too heavy, trying to go too hard with it. Just not thinking about technique first, especially in these movements. Yeah, very, very thankful for that. Big thanks to JP for coming on the channel. So just make sure you take these tips and actually use them in your training. Leave the ego at home.
I think that was a really good point you said about going too heavy. Like, nobody cares about what you row. Like, nobody cares if you can row the whole stack. You're not trying to. Nobody cares if you can do 50 chin-ups or you can do 100 kilo weighted chin-ups.
Yeah.
You're doing these exercises to help improve your technique in other areas. So yeah, leave ego at home, put the weight down, and just create a functional back. Create a back with functioning lats, with functioning rhomboids that can move through healthy ranges of motion. That's all I want to share with you guys.
Thanks for watching.